Welcome to Time Travel 36 and another look at some of my cine film taken at British rod runs, this time from 1982 to 1986, when I finally retired my cine camera to the attic and bought a video camera. We start the video at a sunny Knebworth for the 1982 Nationals held over the August Bank Holiday weekend, as Jerry Seaton arrives in his Ford Pop Roadster. Al Stevens and Nick Taylor were cruising the fields in their nostalgia hot rods. Nick's V6 powered Miner had received numerous body modifications by Al Ritchie. It had been chopped and couped, de-seamed, and had an Austin Devon bonnet grafted on. Al's Pop had Pinto power, a Hellman Minx rear axle, an original beam axle up front. A hefty roof chop and a 4-inch stretched nose gave it the Bonneville look. That's Tony Jones's 4.5 litre Daimler Hemi powered Thames flatbed. Phil Bowen's Rover-powered C-Cab called Novel T came from the same mould as Nick Butler's Revenge. That's Phil Mole's blown V6 Standard. Jeff Beck imported the Boston Strangler T-Bucket from the States in 1969. In '79, it was totally rebuilt by Terry Richards. That's Nigel Luck's 4.5 litre Daimler Hemi powered 32 pickup. Gary Baber's 32 pickup was powered by a Cortina 1500 GT motor. Richard Kropp used a blown Ford V6 to power his Jago 5 window. The Boston Strangler was fitted with a 471 blown 302 Chevy, had a 62 Chevy rear axle and a drop 32 I-beam up front. The Consul Capri Owners Club were out in force. That's Chris Meek's Jag V12 powered PA Cresta. And that's Kev Pittman's Pop Coupe. And Ian Coombs 55. This 300E was owned by Richard Pearmain and it had a 1500 GT motor, Anglia rear end and classic struts. Mark Landsberg's Zodiac had a Wade blown V6. Neil Fenn's flip-top Mini had Ford V4 power and rear-wheel drive. That's Terry MacArthur's 32 grilled V6 Pop. John Rowley's Pop sat right thanks to a 4.5-inch dropped original I-beam axle up front and a Victor axle out back hung on the original transverse spring. Morris Minor wheels were fitted with 56 F100 hubcaps and the motor was a 1725 Singer. That's Mike Key's English B. Kev Ransom's Pop had a 3-inch roof chop, 4-inch oversized front wings and 7-inch oversized rear wings, and he had a 3-litre Ford V6 under the bonnet. Dave Cummings follows Richard Klopp in his V6 T-Bucket. I was there in my 58 Velox. This orange and yellow Pop was run by Ron Keynes, who was chairman of the Essex Poplar Front. Dave Palmer was there in his cabriolet. That's Dave Finch's Jeffro bodied 32 sedan fitted with a small block Chevy. And that's Paul Watson's Morris 8 with 1600 Ford power. That's the ex-Tel Powney Californian Dreamin'. If you look closely, you'll see the flathead had 3 hollies on an Elbrook manifold. Bob Bullen turned up at Knebworth with his F-Type Victor. The rear axle was mounted under the leaves, and everything was either chromed or painted. That's Ian Armstrong's Rover V8 Pop. Frank Sizer ran this Chop 63 Volvo. This 53 Prefect had a 2-litre V4, auto box and rear axle out of a Ford Corsair. It was put together by Steve Bowden. Here's another look at Richard Pearmain's 300E. The painted moon discs were the latest accessory item from Al Ritchie's custom shop in Southend. Nick Taylor had a set as well. And here's another look at Chris Meek's Wild V12 PA Cresta, which usually ran with a glass flip front. The homemade chassis was fitted with a transit I-beam up front and Jag independent rear. Alphabet Alex was there in his immaculate A coupe. That's Tim Cook's blown Chevy-powered Still A pickup. That's Paul Rutter's Jayco 5-window. Simon Lane brought out his recently imported 40 Coupe with 59A Merc fathead and lowered suspension. Pete Howard's Zodiac had been chopped 4 inches by Al Ritchie. That's Kim Bishop's high-riding console. We're now off to Santa Pod and a bit of Run What You Brung action, recorded in March 1983. Andy Harris was there in his 302 powered 54 Zephyr. That's Doc Claydon's 396 rat-powered 68 Bet. Andy Harris gets a little sideways as he fights for grip. That's Dave Turley's 390 Ford-powered Model B. Dave Turley's B used a Jago body channelled over a Jago chassis. Front axle was also from Jago, while the other end was an S-type Jag Independent. The 390 Ford motor was fitted with an Offenhauser dual quad manifold and a pair of Carters. Andy Carter comes out alongside Dennis Boyle as it starts to rain, forcing a break in the proceedings. Andy Carter's Pontiac powered Pop wasn't the prettiest of cars, but it did run quick. That's Frank Bennett's Phantasm Chevy Pop. Richard Dawson brings out the Enforcer Jag Slingshot. Al O'Connor gets a bit squirrely in Owlsgasser as we move on to a damp Blackbush in May '83. A blast from the past was Roy Green's Dragoon Anglia, originally run in 1966 by Alan Allard. The British Flathead Racers Association Street Division held their inaugural meeting at Blackbush. Bernie Caldosh brought along his free window and Brian Lucas had his Roadster parked next door. That's Dennis Sheridan's Mischief Vauxhall funny car and Pete Goddard's Liquidator Mustang funny. Steve Green was there in his Rapid Rover V8 Mark I Cortina. That's Barry Giles' Tequila Sunrise. Bob West's blown 426 Hemi-powered Slick Willie looked good behind the smashing Cresta tow car. Sadly, later in the day, the Willys was nearly destroyed when it got out of shape and rolled. That's Paul Mortimer's street legal Chevy T Altered. The Mullen Speed Shop Camaros being run by John Mullen. Brian and Bernie were joined by Simon Lane's Flathead A Roadster and Crud Clifford's Woody. This is Mary Grace's blown Lancia Slingshot and the Gledo Brothers' nitrous injected Flathead Slingshot. Tony Osborne's high-riding Cortina used a blown 350 Olds motor. And that's Ed Brown's 5-window. Dave Ellis's Triumph-powered XL dragster gets shut down by Dave Gibbons' Rough Diamond Chevy T. And that's Tony Beadle's 289 Ford Slingshot, which used the old Tudor Rose chassis. Herb Andrews in Magnum Force shuts down Dave Chapman's High Anxiety. John Mullen gets the jump on the Clifton Brothers blown Rover Opel GT, but slows with engine problems. That's Angus McFowle's incredible Jade Warrior bike. In the far lane, another of Angus's creations run by Dave Emerson. Mike Rutland in the Shaky Pudding Mustang takes on Andy Robinson's 351 Zodiac. That's Arthur Bonner's Detroit Spinner Pontiac powered Prefect. Pro Comp final saw Jim Reed in Le Patron facing Dave Wilson in the Krypton. Dave kept his foot to the floor, taking the win with a piston smoking 729 to Jim's 817. Doug Bond comes out for a practice run in his shoestring dragster before the funny car final, which saw Gary Page in panic against Ronnie Picardo's Blue Way Datsun. Panic took the win with a 729 at 183 to Ronnie's 807 180. Top Fuel final saw Andy Craddock and Dennis Priddle. Craddock had to shut off after the throttle stuck and Priddle smoked to a 695 at 200 miles an hour. Dennis was running without the rear aerofoil as an experiment for his soon to be completed streamliner. Moving on, we're now at Chelsea Cruise. At least this policeman took his helmet off before relieving himself against this tree. That's Jeff Walden's 283 powered 55. Now for a look at the 1983 Thruxton Internationals. Over 350 cars have pre-entered, including some from Sweden, France and Belgium. That's Ian Gibson in his B Roadster. Clive McDougall was there in his Hammered Mark II. That's John Devra's Rover V8 powered flip-top Beetle. Tim Horsfall had brought along his Daimler T with matching trailer. Pete Biddlecombe was there in his blown Daimler Austin Ruby Rebellion. And here's another look at Richard Cropp's V6 Jago 5 window. From Sweden, Freddie Peterson's Flathead 34 Coupe, Eric Stigson's 49 Merc, Lars Thurdin's 36 Sedan, also flathead powered, and Michael Sundstrom's 50 Chevy pickup. Paul Rutter was there in his powder blue 5 window. And California Dreamin' was back out. Ian Sable had brought along his Clockwork Orange Roadster. Ed Brown was back out in his green coupe. Ray Evans' straight 6 Zephyr powered T looked good with Shelby slot mags. That's Ken Britton's high-riding 46 Morris van with Pinto power. Phil Scoyle's 35 Standard was out on its maiden voyage. Westbourne Fenderworks man Tony Pittock turned up in his Y, towing his new remover top 3-window body. That's Dave Bean's 27T with home-built body and chassis. Cheshire Rod and Custom Club member Chris Sandbank brought along this couped Morris Oxford, complete with Olds Fiesta hubcaps. Paul Bird's Pro Street Pop had a Nick Butler chassis, 350 Chevy, Olds rear end and a 5-inch drop tube axle up front. This 54 Wyvern sled was originally built by Richard Park at Jacko's in '72. Here's another look at Dave Cummings' V6 JOT. That's Derek Chapman's Devon Delivery with 1600 Ford power. And Tony Ham's Chevy powered 4-door wide. Following Freddie's coupe, Pete Fowler's Dirty 30 sedan delivery. Mark Tanner was there in his Chevy powered British A pickup. And Mike Key had his 40 Chevy there. That's Paul Whaling's Plymouth coupe behind the Swedish 36. Ian Gibson's Roadster used an American Street Rod Parts body and chassis and a 327 Chevy. Ken Stamps used a Rover V8 in his Channel Jago 32 pickup. The driving games were very popular at Thruxton. This is Bob Nixon in his V6 Pop. Ian Armstrong was out to win the brand new 350 Chevy donated by American Auto Parts, and win it he did. That's Phil Rutherford's Rover engine Jago 32 Roadster. Pip Biddlecombe had his Infinity T there, as well as Rebellion. And that's Roger Budden's mean-looking blown Daimler T. The blown Chrysler Hemi in Andromeda had no problem laying down a few black lines. Sean Hayes had just bought Dave Finch's repainted Jeffro-bodied B for £4,000. Here he gives it a road test. That's Gary Jenkins' T, powered by a 318 Dodge, which came out of a Winnebago. We're now travelling forward 3 years to the Surrey Street Rodders Wheels Day at Slyfield, Good Friday 1986. That's Gary Taylor's 55 Hillman Californian, complete with hydraulic suspension, chrome wires and 520 crossplies. A lineup of dragsters included Pete Lambourne's Chevy-powered Renault 4, which was narrowed 23 inches. Ted Eismark used a 383 Chrysler in his Hammered Pilot. That's Graham Wade's Rover V8 powered Model Y Coupe. Body was a modified Westbourne Fenderworks piece. Next door is Steve Goodridge's Toyota powered Model Y. That's Roger Grundy's Wimble-bodied A Roadster powered by a 289 Ford, and Kevin Cronin's 7-inch chopped 34 Singer powered by a Rover V8. The low flyers started to appear in 1986. This was the first car I remember seeing. Bob Staunton brought along the Rod Shop A delivery. You may remember seeing this sled at the 83 Thruxton Internationals. It was now owned by Ken Brooks and was about to get a matte black paint job. That's Kevin Moles, chopped prefect. Brian Lucas was back out in his Fathead B Roadster. And I brought along my straight 6 Volvo powered Model Y. That's John Cross's bricks-bodied Model A 4-door. And that's Derek Chapman's V6 powered 39 standard Flying 8. On now to the 1986 Lazy Sunday Afternoon, sponsored by Street Machine magazine and held at Strood Hotel, Hicksted. Jeff Cousins pulls in his blown Chevy powered 32 free window. That's Mid-Sussex Rodders chairman Phil Moles' blown V6 powered 37 Morris. Alan Humphreys arrives in his blown 289 Pop. The 12-spoke spindle mounts were made by Street Rod Engineering. Here's another look at the Rod Shock A, originally put together by Dave Palmer with Pinto power. Colin Jeffries turns up in his quad-webbered Chevy powered free window. Ray Wicker's Corsair had been chopped 6 inches, shortened by 12 inches and fitted with a 350 Chevy. Here's another look at Ted Eismark's Pack 51. Tim Horsfall pulls in his Daimler T. Body was a Wimble item, mated to a Jago pickup bed, and it was painted lemon pearl by Mickey Brain, 75. Wheels were Shelby slot mags. That's Gordon Jones, 327 Chevy powered minivan. Kevin Moles arrives in his Rover V8 Prefect. That's Bob Preston's flip-top Rover V8 Fiat 500. Jeff Cousins' coupe used the body and chassis from Tony Theron's American Street Rod parts, and it was awarded Best of Show. Colin Jeffries' coupe picked up the Rodent's Choice Award, presented by the Mid-Sussex Rodders, who marshalled the event. That's Steve Otley's Rover V8 powered A sedan. Busby arrives in his 302 powered Bantam. That's Blaze Lewis's 440 Mopar powered pot.